Let's shift back now to Trump's immigration crackdown. A new CBS poll showing that while a majority of Americans support the president's goal, they are against his approach. And as Friday's clashes unfolded across LA, there was a familiar face, maybe one that you wouldn't expect, who was embedded with ICE agents during Friday's raids. It was Dr. Phil and his camera crew who say that they got a firsthand look at the targeted operations, which ended with dozens of people being detained. He's expected to use that footage in an upcoming report, reinforcing a made-for-TV spectacle that is Trump's controversial crackdown. We have CNN chief media analyst Brian Stelter with us now. Brian, why was he there? And it's something that's highly unusual.
I think it really speaks volumes about the administration's made-for-TV strategy here. They are focused on the visual spectacle, and not just this week. We could actually see it back in the first week Trump returned to office. Dr. Phil was out in Chicago. He was embedded back then on ICE raids. This time, he was embedded at the ICE field office in LA, hanging out with Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, getting what Dr. Phil's network calls exclusive access to Homan the day before the operation. Then on Friday morning, he was there, I was told, maybe even helping rally the federal officials before they headed out for the operation. And then he was with Homan again on Saturday. So as I wrote on CNN.com, Dr. Phil was out there producing a show that's going to air on his relatively small cable channel today and tomorrow. It's not about the ratings ultimately, it's about what this represents. And it represents a desire to put on a show, especially for Trump-aligned media outlets. There's a desire to show this immigration enforcement is happening. It's happening every day. And Dr. Phil is a part of that effort to televise it for the country.
What are Trump-aligned media outlets saying about this?
Well, number one, that this is going to resolve and redound to Trump's benefit. Talking about, polls that show this is the top issue. This is the area where Trump has the most support among Americans. You saw Stephen Chung, the Trump advisor, over the weekend saying, look, his approval rating on immigration is going to be even higher after the National Guard was sent to LA. So clearly the White House believes this is a winning issue. We've heard Trump and his MAGA media outlets refer to what I call the city in ruins storyline, referring to LA as a place that's in ruins, basically, and that Trump and his forces are going to liberate it and set it free again. It sounds like something out of an action movie. And even from the Defense Department earlier today, the DOD's rapid response account on X saying LA is burning. Of course, Monday morning, there were no fires burning this morning in LA. So that kind of very hyped up, very hypercharged rhetoric coming from Trump, coming from his agencies, and coming from his MAGA media outlets. And I've noticed, Brianna, we all live on our phones these days. We're all scrolling through social media. You've got to be careful at a delicate moment like this to look at the timestamps, look at the dates, look at when things are actually posted, and if they're really from the situation they're purporting to be. A lot of these algorithms are surfacing hours old or even days old content. So you might be looking at a video of something, wondering what's happening in LA. It's actually from 2 days ago. And that's, it only matters because it can give people a false impression of what's actually happening at a moment of unrest.
Yeah, and we've seen that before in recent years of unrest. Brian Stelter, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Boris?
As President Trump's immigration crackdown plays out, we're seeing more communities expressing their support for his controversial approach, some of which we reported on here at CNN. A Georgia college student was mistakenly pulled over last month for a traffic violation and kept on an immigration hold even after the charges were dropped. Jimena Arias Cristobal was eventually released after spending weeks in detention. In Massachusetts, a high school student was arrested on his way to volleyball practice. Authorities said they were looking for Marcelo Gomez, da Silva's father, and released him after 6 days in custody. Both of these cases outraged their communities, who then rallied around the teens. Let's get some perspective from Victor Martinez. He's the radio host for Politics en Español. Victor, thank you so much for joining us. I understand that many of your listeners, including Trump supporters, are in favor of immigration enforcement, but they're troubled with how it's being carried out. And I wonder, where exactly do they believe the line is crossed?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And yes, especially Trump supporters, Latino Trump supporters here in the state of Pennsylvania, where I'm in, you can hear these Trump supporters telling us wait a minute, this is not what I voted for. I thought he was going to get the criminals, the rapists, the murderers, the drug traffickers, not the people who are going to court under appointment and now they're being picked up in court. And that is a big frustration. That is a big part of why so many people are upset.
So on what's happening in Los Angeles, there were more than 24 people arrested for taking over the 101 highway, for throwing Molotov cocktails, for ramming police lines. I wonder if you think the president was justified in sending in the National Guard, or if you see this the way that Governor Gavin Newsom does, that this is a manufactured crisis.
Absolutely. I mean, there was no need for the president to send the National Guard. We see protests in this country in a weekly and a monthly basis is happening major scales, and yet the National Guard's never used. The governor has the state police, local authorities will handle it. And if they do need the National Guard, well, that's always an option. But when was the last time that the president of the United States called the National Guard to handle something locally, protests? I'm in Pennsylvania. In Philadelphia, we had similar protests last year where people took over the highways and took over the streets. And at no moment did the governor call for the National Guard, nor the president called the National Guard. So absolutely, it was completely unnecessary. And I think that just throw more wood to the fire. And as you were mentioning on your previous segment, it just makes it more of a show, more of an opportunity for the president to just make it look bigger than what it is or worse than what it is for his own benefit.
Victor, if you could stand by for a moment, I just want to let our viewers know that as of a moment ago, the California Attorney General has announced that lawsuit against Trump's federalization of the National Guard, saying that Trump violated the 10th Amendment and federal law, saying that this was an unlawful action. This is obviously something that was announced would be coming by the governor of California. Now it is officially filed. I do want to ask you something, Victor, about one aspect of the protest that caught my eye and received attention from the administration, and that's protesters who are waving not only Mexican but Guatemalan and Honduran flags, among others. The administration suggested that they are insurrectionist invaders. I wonder how you respond to that, if you see that as un-American or as a statement about cultural pride.
Absolutely, so cultural of pride, a statement of pride. I mean, we just had the Puerto Rican parade in New York yesterday, right? And all you saw along Fifth Avenue in New York were Puerto Rican flags. It's our way to show support. It's our way to be proud of where we are from, yet we are here and we are proud to be part of this community as well. And I don't doubt that it was also an opportunity for people from El Salvador or from Mexico or from Guatemala to let their fellow immigrants know, hey, we are here with you. I am from Mexico like you. I'm from Guatemala like you, and I'm here supporting you.
So when you see those images that I'm sure you've noticed, Victor, of these folks, some of them assaulting police, throwing things at police, setting fires to vehicles, throwing Molotov cocktails, what's your message to those protesters?
Stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're making the situation worse. You're not helping the cause. You are giving the opportunity for the president and others to say, hey, you see, look at that. It's necessary. Look, we have to call the National Guard. So if anybody out there is listening, and for whatever my message is worth, stop. It hurts the cause. We know that you're hurting. We know that you're upset. We understand. We're with you. But those type of behaviors, what they do is hurt our community, because then they get transmitted through CNN, and unfortunately, it doesn't help our community. And the point of us protesting, the point of us arguing that we are being mistreated, that we're being abused, and I just want to make it clear, our community is scared. And some people in our community have had enough. You know, we've been told that these are criminals, rapists, drug dealers who are being deported or arrested. But we can see the videos every day on social media of people going to court, doing the right thing, following the law, and they're getting picked up in court not in some backdoor alleyway. No, they're being picked up in court with their lawyers. I've seen video on social media in New York, in Manhattan, people who are in court with their lawyers, doing the right thing, following the process the way they're supposed to, and yet there is an immigration officer, an ICE officer, picking them up and taking them to jail.